Okay, so you can take a comfortable seat, an upright seat, and rest your hands in your lap. And as you close your eyes and find yourself arriving for your practice, consider the part of you that magnetically brought you to class this morning, that knew this was the thing to have on your schedule today. And whatever it was that brought you to class, like if it was inspiration, ebullience, you feel expansive and you want to be able to embody that. Or if you were in confusion or disappointment or overwhelm, whatever brought you to class, I'm going to ask you to consider it like an usher at the theater. It allowed you to know, I should come to class. Practice is a place of refuge and exploration and often discovery. So most of us know that the usher who helps us at the theater to find our seat is a very helpful role that they play. But we're actually going to the theater to see the larger performance. And so sometimes our initiators for bringing us to our practice, let's say despair or expansiveness or confusion or overwhelm or feeling grounded, we want to sustain that. Whatever the impulse was to come, there's a larger discovery yet to be made in the practice of yoga. May this practice be helpful to each of us in just the ways that we're needing, in the ways that our soul is needing for its evolution, or in the ways that our heart is needing for staying present to life, to ourselves and to others. May the practice help us with the basics, the digestion, immune, and endocrine basics. You can bring your hands together at your heart. Invite your breath to deepen up and down the central channel. And this afternoon we'll start with the Gayatri Mantra. Let's begin. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimoi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Lengthen up through your spine. You can keep the eyes closed. Bring awareness to the central channel of the body. So you're going to imagine that from the pelvic floor, moving upwards towards the crown of the skull and beyond. Now, in awareness of this, you want to have a sense that there is a place in the central channel that is undisturbed. It doesn't have the dissipations or the agitations that our moods, our emotions, our minds go through. And in this way, I like to think of it both as a homecoming, we return to this, and also as a reminder that this central channel is infused with a much larger presence. We don't own it. It's like the presence that's coming through us, like music through a flute. The flute doesn't own the music. So to help bring some clarity to the central channel, we're going to do a practice right now where you do 8 small inhales, accumulating up to 1 big inhale. You hold that for a moment at the top, and then you're going to be exhaling all the way out using the straw exhale. The inhale is also going to be through the lips like a straw. So that goes like this. You can listen or watch or both, or you can participate if you already know the practice. So we go. Make a tiny straw. Relax. So it's 8 little brisks of inhale, accumulating, like filling up. No real exhale between them. Let's do it again. So and then you're holding. And blowing out. Relax. One more time, beginning. And deeply relax. You know, we'll do bhastrika, and then we'll do Kapalabhati, and we'll do them sequentially. Since you have been here practicing, I'll just give the basics of instruction. Small exhale pulsations through the mouth, up to 30. Exhale, inhale, suspend, and then we'll exhale again. Let's begin. Inhale through the nose, both nostrils, up to suspension. Release the bandhas. Exhale through your nose, both nostrils all the way to the end. Deeply relax. These two practices are recurring from about 2 weeks back. Now we'll do Kapalabhati, brisk exhale through the nose, inhale, suspend, and then we'll exhale left, inhale, suspend, exhale right, inhale, suspend, and exhale. Let's begin. Exhale through the nose all the way to completion. Inhale through the nose up to suspension. Close the right, exhale left, and you're going to exhale all the way to the end, completing the exhale through your left nostril only. Then inhale left. Suspend. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Close the right, exhale left. Release your right hand. Deeply relax and let your attention rest in the central channel. That clear flow into which we can rest and remember. And we're going to come up to standing. And there'll be a practice of pranayama that we'll do again, Nadi Shodhana. I want to make sure this camera's ready. Yeah, so please rise up to standing. Let's see how that sort of clearing out process might facilitate now your asana practice being a little bit more breathable, a little bit more effective. I sometimes like to say more efficient as well, because the fewer mental intrusions we have, the more efficient our practice is. Okay, I'm going to ask you to use blocks for this if you are someone who needs them, and you may not know, so have them ready, please. Take a wide stance on your mat. Also, everyone has to respect his or her own hips, knees, ankles, toes, your body parts. So you won't do just as I do, and I won't do just as you do. We will do what our bodies can do. Okay, so come down to Prasarita Paratanasana. Take your hands to the floor or to blocks, and I'll show both options. And come into the Ujjayi breath. So I'm going to ask you to really sense now the smoothness of the breath moving through the central channel. And let's visualize the inhale really beginning more at the back hemisphere of the pelvic floor and moving up the back of the spine, the back of your waist, the back of your heart. Then the exhale beginning more at the front hemisphere of the pelvic floor and going up the front line of your spine. Keeping both legs straight, shift your hips to your left so that your left hip goes high and your right hip goes low. The left leg will appear to be shorter than the right leg. Notice as you breathe into the back hemisphere of the pelvic floor that this hip position has changed the shape of the pelvic floor mildly. And roll your hips over to the right. So you're going to have the right hip go high, the left hip goes low. Your right leg may look shorter than your left leg. And you breathe in to the back hemisphere of the pelvic floor and up the back of the spine. Now glide back to center. Come up high on your fingertips, whether you're on the blocks or the floor. Bend your left knee and sit your hips back and down. And again, whether you have blocks or the floor, you can walk your hands over to the side. And you can keep using the blocks or your hands on the floor as we're now going to try this out. You can pick up your left heel and rotate your right outer hip down and pick up the toes of your right foot. So a little bit like you're in jazz dance warm-up class, which by the way, I've never taken a jazz dance class. So I don't know, maybe Vin can tell me later if they do this kind of thing. Then you're going to pick it back up and you can walk over with your blocks or you can walk over with your fingertips. Bend your right knee, take the hips back, not forward, and then pick up the right heel, left toes and roll down. And each of these positions is changing the shape of the pelvic floor. Come back up to center. So see if you can notice it now in your own body. Let's go to the left. Bend your left knee. Pick up your left heel and your right toes. Roll up. That means you've got to press down through your left foot and come over to the right. Pick up the right heel, left toes. Okay, let's inhale up to center and exhale to the left. You can make it one smooth movement now. Inhale to center, press down to go up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, glide up to center. Now twice more. Let's go exhale to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, right. And inhale, center. And then release down to Prasarita Paratanasana. Please shift your hands to your hips and rise up to standing. Let's go heel toe into center. Okay, so that's a little experimenting with your hips. Step forward to the position you used for Surya Namaskar, and you're going to see some of those movements we just did again in the sun salutation. So join your hands together. Let's use the Ujjayi breath to sense this plumb line that we're standing in. Now toning your feet, your arches, calves, knees and thighs, hips and pelvis. Let's inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana and tippy toe. And then exhale, come down to chair pose with your heels lifted this morning. Inhale, rise up your tippy toeing. And then exhale and fold forward to Uttanasana. When you touch the heels down, you're just part way into your Uttanasana and you touch down smoothly. Now inhale, glide forward through your heart. And exhale, left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana arms. And exhale, airplane pose arms. Glide forward without actually resting on your right thigh. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, bow forward, airplane pose arms. So you're building some stamina here. Keep the right outer hip steady. Inhale, glide back up. Exhale, airplane pose arms. Last time, inhale to go up. And exhale, wide forward and down. Lightly touch the two blocks. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, right toes back. Ujjayi inhale, rising up. Urdhva Hastasana arms, upward hands. Exhale, airplane pose. Inhale to glide up. Use your left outer hip, left hamstring. Exhale, bow forward. Broaden the back of your waist like you would actually in plank pose or even in child's pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, airplane pose. We have one more time to go up. So use the smooth pace of the inhale for rising, without any sense of grasping and no sense of urgency. Exhale to descend. Place your hands firmly, step backwards, downward facing dog pose. Okay, exhale forward to plank. Step over your right toes. Inhale to seal pose, step over the left toes. Exhale, cobra pose, slide your shoulders back and your heart forward. And then inhale, press down, rise up, seal pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. Okay, exhale, right toes forward, left knee down. Inhale, anjaneyasana. Exhale, opening like yesterday's class, move the shoulders back, collarbones wide. Inhale, raise up, gaze forward. Lengthen the back of your waist. Exhale, opening like a little back bend. Inhale, raise up, gaze forward. Exhale, arms wide, gaze up. One more, inhale, rise up, gaze forward. And exhale, lightly touch the two blocks. And then straighten both legs. Inhale, glide back so that you've got the back heel lifted and your front leg straight. Exhale to bow over your right leg. Inhale, glide forward. Lift the back waist, the back of your heart, the base of your skull. Exhale to bow deeply over your right leg. Whatever your flexibility offers, deep is kind of an inward process as well as the effort you're making. Let's go forward again. Okay, once more, exhale to bow over the right leg. And then press into both hands. Step backwards, downward facing dog pose. Okay, exhale, left toes forward, touch your right knee down. And inhale, rise up, anjaneyasana. Gaze forward, raise the arms up. And then opening, exhale, arms wide, shoulders back, collarbones wide. Inhale, raise up. Gaze forward. Exhale to open. Inhale, rise up. And exhale to open. One more time to go up. And imagine the music that comes through the flute of your body, like the energy, the vitality. Touch the blocks, please. That is coming through your life. Straighten your left leg. And exhale to bow over your left thigh. Inhale, raise your heart. The base of your skull, reach forward. Exhale, bow over your left leg. Inhale, raise the back of your waist, the back of your heart, the base of your skull. And exhale to bow over your left leg. One more time. And exhale to deeply bow. Press into both hands and step backwards, downward dog pose. Okay, now exhale, step your right foot forward, turn to your left, Prasarita Paratanasana. And then we're going to make these smooth actions. So let's exhale down to the left as we did before. Inhale up to center. Exhale down to the right. Inhale, glide up. Now exhale, go left, and you might take the left arm out to the side. Inhale up to center. Exhale to the right. Maybe the right arm goes out to the side. Inhale up to center. Exhale left. Inhale to center. And exhale right. Inhale to center. And then turn to the front of your mat and step into downward facing dog pose. Now in this downward dog pose, bring your attention to the symmetry and the structure of the pose. And after so many movements, breathing in, breathing out with actions, now watch the breath when your body is relatively still. And raise up on your toes. Touch your knees down, keeping the toes tucked under. Reach for one block to sit back on so you're kneeling with the toes curled under. I mean, some of you are stretching your toes. I'm stretching my toes too. I don't have flexible toes in this direction. So you can sit back on the block, or maybe you need 2 blocks so that your knees and your toes can all agree. Let your mind and your breath come into the stillness. And then walk your hands forward. And you can use one foot or both feet to push the block aside. And downward facing dog pose. And now step one foot forward, then the other foot. Return to Uttanasana at the front of your mat. And inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to your heart. And as you come into mountain pose, again, imagine the music that comes through the flute of your life. And the energy that wants to come through the central channel. Now please release both hands, and I'd like you to have 2 blocks to sit on. We're actually going to be kind of squatting on them. So if you make the 2 blocks each flat and you place them like this to sit on, that would be helpful. And start with your feet in front like this. Like you're sitting at like a campfire or something. Yeah. Okay. And then let's go heel toe out. And see if you can come down between the inner thighs. Let the weight of the head relax. As you bow the torso down, you can have whatever distance the knees need to be to allow your shoulders to come down. And return your awareness to the pelvic floor. So the inhale is going to be at the back hemisphere of the pelvic floor. And exhale more at the front hemisphere. So this is symmetrical. Now walk yourself up and let's go heel toe out. Turn the toes out, turn the knees out, and you can place the elbows to the insides of the knees. And now as you press out with the elbows, you can again bow the head towards the heart. And this is again more symmetrical in terms of right to left. I'm not saying that you're symmetrical, but the pose is more symmetrical. And try to sense the shape of the body and how the pelvic floor receives your inhalation. And how you can work with the exhalation in partnership with your body. And then walk yourself back up to sitting. And now we're going to put the 2 feet like they are in prayer position, like this. Okay, so the heels touch. For some of you, the toes might also touch. My toes are not quite limber enough to touch here at the center, but yours might touch like that. Okay, and the knees press out. And let's try keeping the knees pressed wide. You can bring the hands down and press out against the 2 knees with your forearms. It's okay for the hips to come up off the blocks a little bit. So maybe your hips are very light on the blocks. Your torso has come forward. And notice again how the inhale might begin at the back of the pelvic floor. Exhale may start at the front hemisphere of the pelvic floor. And then roll yourself back up to sitting on your 2 blocks and fold the knees into center. Let's go down to sit on the 2 blocks in this fashion, as you know I'm fond of, where you make a little diamond like this. And let's take Sukhasana. So you're sitting cross-legged. Sukha means ease, like Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sukha is in the middle of the line there. So this is called Sukhasana. May there be ease in this pose. Rest your hands out over your knees. So currently, when you sit on the blocks, it's under the outside of your thigh bone, but neither sitting bones nor tailbone nor pubic bones are touching the surfaces of the blocks. So they're kind of free floating right now. So we're going to have a pranayama practice now, and I'd like to explain a little bit so I don't lose you. You're going to be inhaling left nostril only. We'll suspend at the top. Then you're going to exhale right nostril. At the end of the exhale, I'm going to ask you to squeeze the breath out. And then momentarily, you're not going to inhale, but you're going to, this is an invitation. Without inhaling, you radically relax all the muscles that made the exhale. And there'll be kind of an automatic inclination in your body for a suction to happen. And I want you to sense that that suction includes the pelvic floor and the inner belly. You don't have to make it any more vigorous. It's going to be a moment where you've squeezed the exhale out and you don't inhale, but you relax the exhale squeeze muscles. And then you're going to tone the muscles again before you inhale. And you'll inhale right nostril. Let's try it once without the nostrils being involved, and then we'll add the nostrils. Okay, so get your right hand ready, please. And close your eyes. So inhale, lower, middle, and upper. And then exhale, steady and smooth, without urgency, without anxiety. You're going to exhale to the end. You're squeezing the low belly. And then without inhaling, relax your exhale muscles. Tone the exhale muscles. And then inhale through the nose. Let's repeat that. Exhale. Squeezing the breath out. This is just a momentary exhale suspension. So you squeeze, and then without inhaling, release the squeeze. Tone, and then inhale. Now bring your right hand up, close the right nostril, exhale left side only. At the bottom of the exhale, again, you're going to squeeze the belly, and then without inhaling, release the squeeze. Tone the muscles, then inhale left. Close the left, exhale right. Squeeze all the way to the end. Without inhaling, release the squeeze. Tone the muscles, then inhale. Exhale left. Squeezing all the way to the end. Without inhaling, relax the squeeze. Tone the muscles and inhale. Exhale right. Squeezing. Without inhaling, release the squeeze. Tone the muscles and then inhale right. Close the right, exhale left. Last one. Squeeze and then without inhaling, release the squeeze. Release your right hand, tone the muscles and then inhale. Exhale both nostrils. We'll do one more brief suspension of the exhale. At the end of the squeeze of this exhale, you're going to release the squeeze without inhaling. Tone the muscles and then inhale. And then let yourself sit in a really relaxed inner attitude. You'll have a chance to keep learning and practicing that, so don't spend time tinkering, evaluating. Now let's take the right leg out to the side. I know you're sitting up on a block. Make it comfortable for your hip. Bend your left leg up like you're squatting. And again, your sitting bones, tailbone and pivot bone are between the two blocks, so you're kind of floating there. Okay, so take the left arm, press against your left knee, turn a little bit to your left, and then side bend down over your right leg. So long as you feel comfortable and supported, then raise your left arm overhead. It's like a variation on the pose called Cyrasasana. And then rise up, please. Okay, with the seat wide like this, take your right hand to your left knee and twist to your left. And then release. Let's go the other way. Okay, so place the right foot in the squat position, left leg out to the side. What good timing you have. Okay. Open the right arm against your right knee and inner thigh. So you give a little rotation of the spine to the right and side bend to your left. Yeah. These kittens purr vigorously, so if you start hearing a little motor sound, that is actually the kitten. Yeah. You may raise your right arm overhead. And then rising up and cross your left hand to your right knee, twist to your right. And rotate around to face forward. So each of those poses also changes the shape of the pelvic floor, right? And there's more for us to learn about that. This is just a 1-hour class, so we'll dive into it more at another time. But each time that you change the pelvic floor, you have the chance to increase pliability, elasticity, tone, collaboration, awareness, right? If you have a great difference in one direction compared to the other. And my experience so far is that when the pelvic floor has a kind of suppleness and tone to it, the pranayamas are more influential. We collaborate better with the internal systems of the body. And it's also connected to mental health. So let's come down now towards Savasana. What you're going to do is start with the 2 blocks under the hips, right at the trochanters. So I'm going to ask you to rest so that you're putting your sacrum between the 2 blocks, but it's really that you're resting right on the back of the trochanter, as if the 2 trochanters were on the blocks, and then the sacrum is a hammock between them. So if you really relax right now, including you relax the belly, the lower back, you should feel your sacrum sort of tipping down towards the floor, like the top of the sacrum and the lumbar spine. And the tailbone's actually going slightly up. The pubic bone is slightly towards the belly button. If you've been coming to class regularly, now is a good moment to try one of the exhale suspensions that also includes the Uddiyana Bandha. And you can try it in this position to get a sense of the pelvic floor, the deep inner belly, the iliacus, the diaphragm. If you haven't been able to be here recently, I would recommend that you just rest in this position. Otherwise, those of you who have been here, it's a full inhale to begin. And a complete exhale. At the end of the exhale, you're gently toning the belly to squeeze the breath out. You hold the breath out, relax the squeeze muscles, and then make a pretend inhalation. Then you release the bandhas, tone the muscles, and then inhale. And then for everyone, we'll just scoot the blocks out and please come down to Savasana. Come down to the Savasana that can be really still for you, mentally and physically. Remind yourself that Savasana is not a time for planning. It's a time for integration. A lot of the asymmetrical work we did today was influencing your pelvic floor. The squatting that we did at the end of class also influencing. So imagine the integration process. It's a whole body integration, but also that the pelvic floor and the rest of your body are kind of reunited. Invite yourself to have a deep sense of ease for your pelvic floor and all the bones of the pelvis, inside the belly, in the inner organs. Most of all, can the pelvic floor be deeply at ease. Allow your body to rest with even greater ease for one more minute. It's completely at rest. Imagine the deep stillness of the bones of your body. The music of the flute still gently coming through. But we have no sense of ownership of the music nor the flute. Each is gifted to us. And just gently wiggle your toes, fingers, and then using as few simple movements as you need. Please transition to your seat for meditation. I'd like you to sense the power of the practice when you come back to your familiar seat. Even noticing the structure of your seat, like how do you inhabit your pelvis now? And join your hands to your heart. We'll chant Om Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice, the resources of your time, your dedication, your vitality, your wisdom and your vulnerability, everything that you are. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to come up to see you more closely. I can see you now. I have to give you a better view to see me also. Now you missed the kittens. They're hidden by me now. Let's see. There you go. How are you feeling? You're looking radiant.